Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth-given name. Happy Tuesday, guys. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well this season. I got to work for you. Tap in. Happy Tuesday, guys. So this should be fairly quick. I don't know. We'll see. But on yesterday, I made a community post in regards to, I keep hearing the word make room. Some of you guys commented and said you were hearing rearrange, declutter, etc., etc. So all under that umbrella. And then I got a couple of emails where a few people was a little confused on if that meant physically, if something's coming physically, is it spiritually, what does it mean? So I want to kind of branch off in a few different areas. All right, so again, I keep hearing make room. So here's the thing. It definitely can branch off from the physical to the spiritual. This is why it's so important, again, for you to be tapped in, because you can have 50 people who get the same download, right? Same revelation. However, it means something completely different. But let's just say from a physical standpoint, whatever that God has promised you, whatever you've been praying for, or just whatever God wants to bless you with and you don't even know it, you have to have room to receive it. It's almost like when you don't have room, you're too crowded. God needs a clear pathway in order to send you certain blessings. So in the physical realm, that can look like you've been praying for a wife, sir. Yet all of your ex's clothes are still in the closet. And some men aren't really ladies, we like, listen, don't even take me to the same restaurant you used to frequent with your ex, right? But I think men are wired differently, so they don't even see that as a big deal. Like, so what? Her panties are still in the drawer. I mean, I'll just throw it out whenever I meet somebody. No, sir, get that stuff out of there now. Spirits linger. So sometimes you don't even realize that the physical things that you're holding on to is really keeping you from what God has for you, because those spirits are still there. There's too much clutter in the spiritual realm, where again, God needs a freeway, a clear freeway, an interstate, like 3 o'clock in the morning is coming to my vision, right? Just an interstate where there's no cars on at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? God needs a freeway to send certain blessings to you. And you may not even know. You may not even realize that you have these things and how they're, and at some point, maybe they were okay there. Because maybe God was still working out certain things. So it is what it is. That's why you didn't get the downloads to declutter a year ago, because God knew he still needed to work on certain things on the other side. But now we're in suddenlies, right? Things like that. This is why you're feeling a pressing more in your spirit. I got a declutter download it's been some years ago. I'm one of these people, I'm definitely not a hoarder, but I hold on to sentimental things. Like, I have a whole box, a whole tub full of letters from elementary school, like my best friend would write, or the little boy who had a crush on me would write. I still have these things, and I still do. But there was one particular individual who I had tons of letters from, that God had me to release those things, like throw it away. And it's not that I even wanted to because of the guy. It was just more so less like there were sentimental things. So we're holding on to things for sentimental values, not even realize that season is over. It's done. What do you want to go back and read it for? Like, why do you want to go back this is not me. This is pinging for somebody else right now. Why you want to go back in your closet and dig for a picture of the wedding where you a vision? These visions be popping in my head. I'm literally seeing somebody standing at a closet holding this frame from 1980 something with their wedding dress on, like the old traditional ones, honey, and the veil, and they're smiling, honey, and honey, smiling and cheesing in the camera. And that wedding turned out to be the worst thing of your life. But you still got the picture, just in case, just in case what? Just in case what? That season is done. The man is remarried. You're probably remarried. What are we holding on to these things for? For what? For what? So God is literally pressing people to declutter, throw out all that stuff, because there is something coming. You may know and you may not know, but something is coming. And those old spirits, those old things got to get out of your house, honey. Okay. That can look like you got a bed and the bed is so sentimental. You got it when you was 20. Now you 85. And it's like you want to keep this bed because they don't make those one like they make them no more. Honey, that mattress got all kind of spirits from that ex, all that narcissist, all that stuff lingering in this mattress. And you talking about you gonna burn some sage. Honey, I rebuke you and your sage. You better get that mattress out of here. If God is telling you to get that mattress out of your house, throw that mattress away, because God is not going to bring no man or no woman up in your house that's pure from him when you got all this foolishness going on and don't even know it. Don't even know it. Get that mattress out your house. Sir, if you're asking for a wife, we're not coming up in your twin-sized bed. Go ahead and purchase you a king, a California king, right? Well, no, I want a California king, right? Okay. So we're not coming up in twin-size beds. But you're waiting on your wife. Well, I mean, I'll just get the bed. No, sir. Go ahead and prepare. You were asking God for a wife. You. God said, well, you need to make room for your wife. And she ain't got time to be up in a twin-size mattress just because you can fit in there. No, sir, we need to roll around, period. So if you're hearing God says, prepare, then prepare. You don't have to wait till she knocks on the door or whatever. Okay, so that I'm sure you guys get the points from the physical things. From the spiritual aspect, I don't think we even realize how, really, let me backtrack, because this hit my spirit earlier, I forgot to say it. Also, some of you who like are in debt, or like you're like, maybe you are in job loss, something like that. Do you know there's things in your house right now, this ain't for everybody. There are things in your house right now that maybe you purchased just years ago, or maybe somebody gave it to you, whatever. And those things are worth money now. May have been worth money then, but they're really worth a lot of money now. So before you start going to declutter and throwing things away to thrift stores or junkyards or whatever you got going on, make sure you research those things before you throw them out, right? There's actually a icon on your phone that if you take the picture, it will literally pull up what that item is, give you all the information, what the price is, etc., etc. So God too may be trying to bless some of you financially about certain things that's literally in your house, but you just kind of had to pack away, right? You got all kind of trash on top of that stuff, where because you're in a season of suddenly and you've been praying for financial blessings, just be sure that some of the stuff you have is not things of quality, because people are quick to throw away things of quality and don't even realize what some of that stuff be worth. I can't tell you guys some of the pieces I got. Well, some of you weren't here yet, but I did an antique home tour, and I like antiques. And even though I may have paid a pretty penny for the antiques, it's nothing, maybe 10% of what it's really worth. So people get rid of stuff and don't even realize that stuff is really, like, seriously money. So yeah, on the spiritual side, it's hard to hear when you're cluttered. It's hard to hear when you're cluttered. So think about it, you're distracted. Think about you got 50,000 things going on at one time. Like 50,000 things going on. You're thinking about work, you're thinking about the kids, thinking about your man, you're thinking about this, all this nonsense. You can't even hear. You can't hear your downloads. So one of you guys asked, well, I know who it is, asked me yesterday, so you wish you can receive downloads. So I asked you how disciplined you were. And what I was referring to in general was discipline in the sense of quieting your mind, being in a posture, being disciplined enough to shut everything down, right? Sacrifice, fast, or whatever, so God can get you what you need through clear revelation. And downloads are just really revelations. So yeah. But so when your mind is all cluttered like that, and there's a lot going on, you can't really hear from God, right? So people think I'm insane. Some think I'm insane when I say I can travel. I'm talking about I can take a whole 6-7 hour trip in silence. No radio, no, not just silence. You will be amazed at the revelations you receive when you're just traveling or you're just somewhere in just solitude and you don't have any distraction going on. So the same with the stuff in your house. A lot of the times when you see people, like if you watch a show like Hoarders or whatever, when you see shows like that or people who just got a lot of stuff and they're just, the house is chaotic, many times that's a sign of what's really going on internally. And so there's so much clutter, they're throwing up paper. And don't get me wrong, right? I don't have clutter, but I'm the person like who desk would have papers. The papers may not be scattered everywhere, but it's papers that I should have thrown out a long time ago, right? Stacks of stuff that should have been going a long time ago. All that stuff is just clutter. And so we're in a place right now where because these suddenlies are so right around the corner, because the insights are so profound, things like that, God need us very clear. So a lot of times that clutter that's all around, like in the hoarder's home, all of that sometimes is indicative of trauma. And so because God is freeing you from your triggers and your trauma, he's trying to free you spiritually to clear your mind. So your house may be spick and span, but is your spirit clear? Is your mind or your emotions clear? Or are you all over the place? So declutter can also mean your mind by putting up boundaries. Let me tell you who's so annoyed with me right now. My daddy. I said this the other day. He is so annoyed with me because I keep trying to tell him that God has me in a posture where I can't answer my phone every time it rings, right? So God is really working on me with boundaries. And he seems to be the only one who don't respect boundaries. Sir, can you please stop calling my phone like 30 times per day? I've already spoke to you earlier. What do you... It's almost like he just don't want to respect the boundaries and he's being petty about it because he's selfish, right? We all got our stuff. He's selfish. But he is so annoyed with me because I'm standing firm on my boundaries. I have to be clear right now. I can't have too many people pulling at me unless it's God using me for a specific purpose. So right now, I'm really protecting my space because I know I have to be clear to hear, if that makes sense. So he'd really be in his feelings, honey, on my answering machine. But so that could be the spiritual side of it. And I think that's all I really had. So it really just means whatever God is telling you. If you don't know why God is asking you to do, and this is the whole thing, just obey. Just obey. He might not even tell you. Just obey. If you've been praying for a baby, right? Go ahead and buy the crib. Take out that twin size bed because your child didn't graduate from college 37 years ago. Get that bed out the house and go ahead and get you a crib. Go ahead and pick out your colors. Like, you have to be in alignment for what you're asking for or what God has promised you. So declutter, make room, organize, reorganize, make room, and just do what God tells you to do. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.